Good. So we're going to talk about today how to thrive in uncertain times. Now, I know a lot of you guys are in Australia, the majority of you guys are in Australia. So this is going to go beyond just a trading and investing perspective as well. I'm going to talk a little bit about COVID and how to take full advantage of the situation that's going on now. Because I know it's quite a tough time for a lot of people out there as well. So I want to shed some light on this. And by the way, my name is Bailouni. Thank you so much for joining me for this presentation as well. I'm certain you guys are going to get a lot of value from it. So let's get into it. The first thing I wanted to do today was just very briefly introduce myself and share what I'm all about. A lot of you guys are obviously here for the trading and investing component of this, the mindset component of that. So I wanted to share my experience with this. I've been trading myself for the last 5 to 6 years now. And I've experienced the ups and downs in terms of results, in terms of funding, and the societal perception on trading as well. And what I mean by that is I've had good results in my trading and investing. I've also had poor results. I've gotten funded. I've also lost funding. I've had both positive and negative perceptions of myself in trading as well. So I think I'm quite experienced to share some insights on both the ups and downs in trading. And a lot of these ups and downs, these oscillations I experienced personally led me to my studies of psychology and human behavior. But pretty much I went off and studied psychology and human behavior for no other reason but to improve my own trading abilities. And I went off and studied under some great mentors, namely Dr. John Demartini. And I applied a lot of his principles into my trading, into my investing game. And it was pretty much a natural progression to then me moving on and starting to coach other traders as well and pass on the things I learned to help them improve as well. Now, more recently, I'm doing more consulting roles for obviously companies like TBI. I step in to help their traders improve and other firms and that type of stuff. So it's a little bit about me. It's a very natural progression from learning to trade myself to then studying the human behavior and psychology things to help me improve as a trader, to then going off and coaching and consulting. I actually found the biggest jump in my trading results when I took the psychology and human behavior principles and applied them to myself. When I took care of myself, I found that directly positively reflected my trading as well. So the reason I'm certain that every single one of you guys will get value from today to your trading is because I know if you take care of yourself, your trading results tend to improve as a result, and your investing results. Now, why is trading mindset or investing mindset important? Really quickly, I want to brush over a few points before we get into the presentation. I'm sure a lot of you guys have recognized that it's important. That's why you're here tonight. But on top of that, your psychology will take you from a good to great trader. Every trader and investor knows that once you have your strategy, once you have your entry points, your exit points, the thing that will stop you from executing on those flawlessly is yourself. So going in there and having the principles, the ideas, the structure to be able to manage yourself to flawlessly execute on your strategy will help you go from a good to great trader. On top of that, mastering your mindset in your investing and trading game will help lower stress and emotional volatilities in the market, which as a result will lower mistakes and poor decision making. You'll find yourself improving the decisions you make. You have more clarity and you have less stress. And as a result, it will help you maintain consistency in results. Some of you guys may have goals to obviously increase your bottom line as a trader, as an investor, but some of you guys may have goals beyond that to gain funding and continue to scale your accounts and trade more and more capital. Mastering your trading mindset will help you do that. It's essential if you want to go off and take on more capital and do those types of things. Because the more capital you take on, the more susceptible you are to the stress and the emotional volatilities, which is where the principles and the stuff I'm going to teach today is going to be extremely important. And from a more general perspective as well, it's going to help increase your appreciation for yourself and your life. Because everybody knows that if you have a poor trading and investing day, quarter, week, whatever it is, it can impact your relationships, it can impact your mental health, and it can impact the way you view yourself. So mastering your mindset is going to help increase your appreciation for yourself and your life. And it's also going to help improve in all areas of life. That's a little bit of an introduction about me and why trading mindset's important. What I would love to share today is a very important principle to understand, to take full advantage and to thrive in uncertain times in your life and in uncertain times in the markets. We can apply these principles to uncertain times in the crypto markets or the stock market. We can also apply these principles to uncertain times in life in general, with COVID, with governments, that type of stuff. Now, at the end of the day, we have control over very certain things. Irrespective of what happens in the world, things like COVID, things like crypto and stock crashes, we, at the end of the day, only have control over 3 things. And those are our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. We have no control over COVID and that type of stuff, what the government does. We have control over how we perceive those events. We have control over what we decide to do with those events, and we have control over how we act with those events. Very similarly with crypto crashes, we have no control over whether the market's going to go up or down, but we have control over how we perceive what we decide to do and how we act in those circumstances. So today, what I wanted to do was pass on principles, tools, and understandings to help every single one of you take full control over what you have full control over, so you can take full advantage of a bull market or a bear market, or COVID or no COVID, or lockdown or no lockdown. But you just focus at the end of the day what you have full control over, you master that, and as a result, you find yourself excelling when everybody else is caught up in a lot of the noise. Now, hopefully that makes sense. I would love to give a little bit of a brief breakdown of what you have full control over, and then we're going to go into a little bit of a practical exercise to help you guys get clear goals and clear structure and start building some serious momentum in all areas of your life. Now, every single human being, everybody in here has a truly unique set of priorities, all right? Everybody has a list of what's most important to least important in your life right now. The next part of this presentation is going to be helping you guys get incredibly clear on what your set of priorities are. We're going to start off with your trading and investing, but then we can go more broad and more general into the other areas of your life as well. So you take full control over what you do have control over, and you focus on the highest priority actions every day, and you find yourself building momentum, especially in this time of lockdown and COVID, when everybody else is, doing things that aren't going to progress them. You have identified the highest priority actions for your priorities, and you're taking full advantage of that, and you're finding yourself progressing in all areas of life. The problem is most people don't actually know what's truly important to them. A lot of people get caught up in the noise and they don't fully capitalize on situations like this because they don't actually know what's truly important to them. And most people that do know what's important to them don't ever give themselves permission to go off and execute according to those things. And as a result, they end up procrastinating, they end up beating themselves up, they end up getting caught up in things and blaming and that type of stuff, and they don't take full advantage of situations they're given. The most important thing you can do, especially right now, is identify and live according to what is truly most important to you. I'm going to help you guys identify your true set of priorities in all areas of life. Then we're going to break down the highest priority actions and structure those. So every single day you're finding yourself building some serious momentum in all areas of life, especially in your trading investing, because there are some really exciting times ahead with that. So to ensure you're structured and well prepared to take advantage of that is essential. And when you find yourself congruent, you're going to be inspired, you're going to be disciplined, you're going to be focused, you're going to be energized every day, you're going to be waking up every day and taking full advantage of what's going on. And as a result, you're going to be most likely to achieve. Okay, good. Your priorities are created by what you perceive to be missing in your life. So when we go in and we get clear on what is truly most important to you at this point in time, it may also be a good idea to identify where your voids are. If you can identify what you perceive as to be most missing in your life, it can give you a great indication to what is a true high priority to you right now and where you're going to find yourself most disciplined, most inspired, and most motivated. At the end of the day, your perceived voids, what you perceive to be missing, are things that are most valuable to you, and you're going to go off and pursue those things. For example, if right now in this situation you perceive money to be most missing, you're going to have a higher priority in going off and creating an income, which is where you want to target and focus and take full advantage of. If you perceive yourself missing a relationship, you're going to go off and pursue that, for example. So you will pursue whatever you perceive as missing. And every decision and action you take is for the advantage of your highest priorities. You will procrastinate and lack discipline if you do not see a task serving your highest priorities. So if you're finding yourself procrastinating or labeling yourself lazy or lacking discipline, it's an indication that you just don't perceive that task as high enough priority to you. So when we go in and do the exercise in a second, we're going to reverse engineer the process to ensure that you're only expecting yourself to do high priority things that you perceive will help you accomplish what's most important to you. And whenever you procrastinate and lack discipline, it's all feedback telling you that something needs to be refined. You're not congruent somewhere, and it's great feedback at the end of the day. Because you will spontaneously act if you see a task serving what's truly most important to you, your highest priorities. Okay, and your last little tip here, your language also determines how congruent you are. If you're using words like I should, I need to, I have to do this, it's an indication that you're not necessarily congruent and you're injecting whatever you think you should be doing from someone else, an external authority. If you're using language like I would love to be doing this, it's an indication that you're congruent. So you can use your language and the type of language you use to give you an indication of how congruent you are with your priorities and where, in what areas you need to make adjustments and refinements, or you need to do some sort of linking as well, which we're going to talk about in the application. Okay, I blitzed through that theory a little bit because I think what you guys are going to get most value from is the application of these principles. Okay, so I've left that theory there for you guys to reread and re-soak, but I think it's pretty straightforward. What I'd love to focus on the rest of this presentation on is the application of it. Okay, so you have 7 areas to your life. You got your health, you got your wealth, you got your business and vocation, family and relationships, your mental expansion and learning, some form of social leadership or impact on a leave on planet Earth, and your spirituality. If you're not religious, spirituality just means your mission at any point in time. For a lot of people, that can be their trading and their investing. If you've got a high priority in your trading and investing, that's your spiritual mission. Okay? So going in and identifying now the priorities in all areas of life is very important, because any area you don't empower, you're subject to being overpowered in. For example, if you don't empower your health, you don't take care of your physical body and your overall health, you're gonna be told what medication you have to take, and someone else is gonna overpower you in that area of your life. If you don't empower yourself in your wealth and your business and vocation, you're gonna be told how much you're worth at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So it's very important when I promote, when I work with clients, and when I consult for companies, is the empowerment of all 7 areas of life. Okay. So the exercise we're going to get into next is helping you guys get clear on what it is you'd love to be in those 7 areas of life, especially through this next period of COVID, through the crypto potential bull run and that type of stuff, getting really clear on what it is you'd love to be in all 7 areas of life. Then we're going to get clear on what it is you're going to do to get there. What are the high priority actions you can be taking on a daily basis to ensure you get to where it is you'd love to be? And then what are you going to have as a result? Really important that you reward yourself for the high priority actions you're going to be putting in. Okay? And the do's and haves must be kept in fair exchange so you don't burn yourself out. So I put a little exercise together for you guys. We won't have time to go through it all today, but it'll be an opportunity for every single one of you to have a think about what it is you'd love to be in the 7 areas of life. What are the high priority actions that you're going to do? And what are you going to have as a result? Okay. And this is the other Google Drive, the other tool I added in. So let me bring that up really quick. You'll be able to see that I've broken down I put the 6 areas. I left spirituality out of it. That's fine. Just focus on the 6 areas here. What is it you'd love to be in terms of your trading? So get really clear on the goals you have around trading. Maybe some of you guys have certain goals around being a consistently profitable trader. Just keep in mind, you don't have any control over what the market gives you. You have control over the processes that you put in. So instead of consistently profitable, maybe it's around being consistently executing on the processes you have. Okay, so something around that. And you know that if you execute on your processes and your trading plan over a long period of time, you can expect the results in the long period of time. Great. So go in there and get clear on what it is you'd love to be in terms of your trading. And then what are the high priority actions you can do on a daily basis to get there? For example, maybe there's some level of forecasting. You want to do 30 minutes of forecasting and planning positions for the day. And you want to get really clear on what the high priority actions are. Maybe you're going to dedicate 1 hour a day to back testing and strategy refinement. Maybe you're going to partake in all TBI education, and you're going to show up and be present and take notes with the information that's passed through. And you want to get really clear on what are the highest priority actions you can be doing on a daily basis to help you accomplish your trading goals. And then on a daily basis, what are you going to have to reward yourself for doing those things? Maybe there's a favorite TV show, or there's a favorite snack that you love eating. I don't know. Just reward yourself in fair exchange for the work you put in. Because if you, over this period in time, if you constantly perceive yourself doing without receiving in fair exchange, you're going to burn yourself out. So it's really important to keep do's and haves in fair exchange and in balance. And that's the only thing that will be sustainable for you to stay in the game long enough to accomplish your goals. The main thing you really want to focus on the high priority actions you can be doing on a daily basis. 30 minutes of forecasting, 1 hour a day of back testing, partaking in all the TBI education. Because if you do these high priority actions on a daily basis, you'll build momentum and you'll eventually reach the goal. Going in there and doing this for all areas of life is crucial, because any area you don't empower, you're subject to being overpowered in. And any area you don't empower is also going to be a distraction to your main focus. For example, if you don't empower your health, you're going to have a lot of challenges in your health, which are then going to be distractions to your trading and investment. So going in and empowering all 7 together is very essential, very powerful. And it really doesn't take that much more energy and effort to empower all 7 than it does one. Because you'll find that a lot of them link together in some way, shape, or form anyway. Okay, so the key focus here, especially through time of COVID, time of lockdown, is getting really clear on the high priority actions you're going to be doing on a daily basis to help you become the person you'd love to be in all 7 areas of life. The spreadsheet here is a great way to break it down and make it easier to go through that exercise to ensure that it's done to completion. And I promise you, doing that exercise will be mind expanding, and it'll be very fulfilling to finish up with that and have a clear idea on what it is you'd love to be. Okay, good. Does anybody have any questions there? If you do, please leave them in the chat. I'm going to jump back to the presentation now though. Now, after you've identified the high priority actions in every area of life, you then want to take the do's, just the do's, the high priority actions you've identified to help you accomplish the goals in all 7 areas of life, and then use something like a Google Calendar and go in there and structure those do's for all 7 areas of life into a Google Calendar. And what you'll find is that now you have all the high priority actions to focus on a daily basis. All you need to do is do those high priority actions. And what you'll end up having is something like this. You'll have a calendar with the high priority actions laid out for every area of life. All the things you identify that you know will help you accomplish your goals are structured into a calendar now. And all you need to do is focus on executing on those. And when everybody else is blaming, circumstances around them and that type of stuff, you're focused, you're clear on what it is you'd love to be doing in your life, and you're executing on the highest priority actions every day to build momentum towards that. And I've worked with a lot of clients, I've taken a lot of clients through this very simple process, and it's pretty mind-boggling to realize what you can accomplish by doing just the highest priority actions every day. Over 3 months, over 6 months, over a year, you can really build some serious momentum in all areas of your life, and you can do some really cool things. And here's a little cliche quote at the end, but I really do believe that high priority actions executed on a daily basis, consistently and persistently, is what allows you to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve. So identify those high priority actions, schedule them into a calendar, and execute on those on a daily basis. And you'll find yourself thriving in an uncertain time. You'll find yourself thriving irrespective of what happens in the markets, COVID, crypto, stock markets, whatever it is. You're focused on what you have full control over, and you're making the most of any situation. Okay. So please drop any questions if you have any questions on that. And you can all see my screen, can't you? Zach, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the chart on the screen? Okay, good. Okay, so drop any questions you have in the chat. I'll get to those. I know we had another question on patience, which I'll address very soon. But I want to do a little bit of self-promotion. I also have my one-on-one coaching services. I work with traders and investors to really help them identify and do the mindset work and psychological work to help them execute on their processes and their trading plans and their investing plans seamlessly. Because every trader knows that once you have the strategy, once you have the plan, the thing that stops you from executing on that consistently is yourself. So I would love to pass on the things I've learned in human behavior and psychology, the work I've implemented with a lot of my trading clients, and I pass on to firms and other education companies. If you are at that stage in your trading where you now have a strategy, but you're struggling to execute on that flawlessly, if you're run by fear and greed and those types of things, I would love to pass on the tools to help you deal with those and execute flawlessly on your strategy. So feel free to message me in Discord. Feel free to go into this document and click on this link here, where you can book a free 15-minute discovery call with me, and we can chat, and I can see, and you can see if my services will suit you and they will help you accomplish your goals at any point in time. So consider that, especially if you found today valuable. I would love to be working with you guys, and I'd love to be helping you accomplish your trading goals.